So what is Christian freedom? Where is a fish truly free? Christian freedom. That's what I want to talk a little bit about today. What is Christian freedom? There's all sorts of funny ideas out there about what freedom is. And the most common one that I hear is something like that freedom is basically being able to do whatever you want. And so we sometimes have this picture of freedom as us being sort of an autonomous individual out there in the world on our own, not attached to anyone or anything, free from restriction, able to do whatever we want. Now, I put it to you that that's actually quite a silly sort of definition of freedom. Not only is that not Christian freedom, that's not really any true freedom at all. And there's a very old illustration that I think is pretty helpful to think about this. It's not mine, I didn't make it up. It's from an old book and it gets around a bit, but I find it's really helpful, and it's to do with a fish. Think about a fish. Where is a fish truly free? In the water, right? So there's a couple of ways that a fish can get itself in trouble. A fish can lose its freedom, if you like, by getting caught on a hook. Or by getting caught in a net or whatever. But a fish can also lose its freedom by jumping out of the water. We used to have these goldfish, and one of them had this habit of literally doing this, jumping out of the bowl onto the table. Now, when we were around, it was okay because you could put this fish back, but when we weren't, well, you can imagine what happened. For that fish, being out of the water, doing whatever it wants, is not freedom. It's not life. It's actually death. So in other words, true freedom is living as you've been designed to live. For a fish, that means in the water. What does that mean for us, though? What does that mean for human beings? Well, at one level, you could say, yeah, okay, true freedom then is living as God has designed us to live. Freedom's not being out there as individuals doing whatever we want, because we weren't created just to be in isolation, and we weren't created to live without restrictions and limitations. We were created to be in community, and we were created to live how God would have us live. But for Christians, it goes deeper. For Christians, true freedom then, in living as we've been designed to live, is life with Jesus, is a life of following Jesus. Do you remember what Jesus says? He says, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So he's talking there about Christian freedom. But notice in that text, that's in John chapter 8, no sooner is he talking about being truly free than he begins to talk about households. He talks about how a slave does not have a permanent place in a household, but a son, that is an heir, he is there forever. And so for Jesus, freedom is not being released from one household to be out there on your own. Freedom is being freed from the enslaving power of one household to live in another household, to live with a different master, a gracious master. True freedom is actually following Jesus. Think of someone who's in prison. They've lost their freedom. And then they're released out into society again. But there's a problem for this particular prisoner. He or she has nowhere to go, has no home, has no family, has no purpose. Too many bridges have been burnt in the past. Now, in one sense, that prisoner, having been released, is free, but is he or she really free? True freedom means having somewhere to go. It means having a household, having a community, having a purpose. True freedom for Christians then is following Jesus, is abiding, living in his word, is living how he would have us live. That's true Christian freedom. Next time you see a fish swimming around in a bowl, remember this. Where is a fish truly free?
Now, this is Kramer. I got Gendison in the car. Now he wants to see his fish. I'm taking him to see his fish. So tell the police to back off.
This is Kairos. God bless you. See you later.